Hey, everybody over at Frontstretch.com, all of you lovely, lovely readers and viewers. I am Christopher DeHarde here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, where we just had an interesting end of the race for the Honda Indy 200 presented by some 2026 car that I can't quite remember right now. But it doesn't really matter because Scott Dixon got his 7th win here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And Alex Palou, he was looking good to win, but unfortunately a late race mistake cost him. We're going to go through this race kind of in reverse order a little bit because the most important part of the race happened near the very end. Alex Palou was running up front by several seconds over Scott Dixon, his teammate, and then coming out of turn number 9, he made a bit of a mistake, missed his braking point, missed the apex of the corner, went off track a little bit, and cost himself several seconds. Scott Dixon went through on the inside, and it was his 21st winning season in a row rather, with a win, which is an older streak than his teammate Kiffin Simpson. I hate the passage of time. That kind of got a chuckle from all of us in the press conference after the race was over. Palou, try as he might, wasn't able to get by Scott Dixon, and so Scott got his, I think it was his 58th win, so he's like 8 or 9, I think he's like 9 behind AJ Foyt for first on the all-time win list. Palou second by just over 4/10 of a second. Christian Lundgaard in third. Lundgaard had a pretty good race. He unfortunately didn't lead any laps, but he was up front for the majority of the race. It was a great job by him. It's windy out here, I don't know. Anyway, Colin Herta got 4th from Pato Award. He got 4th at the very last lap of the race. I did a story about Pato, which you can read on Frontstretch.com. Pato did a 3-stop strategy like a lot of other drivers did, but he actually was running out of fuel on the last lap. He ran his final lap of the race at 4.5 seconds slower than his previous lap, and he ran out of fuel just after the start-finish line. He actually walked back to the pits himself without his car. They towed it back to the pits later on. I should also go back a little bit earlier as well. Scott Dixon ran the race with only 2 fuel stops. They saved a lot of fuel underneath the first yellow flag, which we'll get to a little bit later on. But yeah, he went really long in his first stint and made his second pit stop lap. I think it was lap 62 he made it, or lap 63. Either way, he was able to actually save enough fuel to make it to the end of the 90-lap race with only 2 pit stops, while everybody else in the top 5 had to make 3 trips to pit road. Felix Rosenqvist in 6th place was the next driver that only ran 2 fuel stops for the whole race. Marcus Armstrong in 7th. By the way, Felix Rosenqvist, amazing livery with Ozzy Osbourne on the car. That was great. Kyle Kirkwood in 8th place in the number 27 Honda. Drink, for those of you who participate in that drinking game. Rinus VeeKay, 26th to 9th. An incredible job by the Dutch racer. Great strategy by the boys over at DeHarde Racing. Well, Dale was a strategist, so yeah, great job by Rinus. Kiffin Simpson started 3rd, finished 10th. He unfortunately hit Rinus VeeKay's outside rear tire changer on the foot. Might have gotten a broken ankle there, I don't know, but the tire changer finished the stop up. Kiffin had to do a pass-through penalty on pit road because he hit personnel, and that dropped him several positions there. Nolan Siegel finishing 11th. Good run for Nolan. It wasn't a top 10 finish like he wanted, or a top 5 like he really would have wanted, but still, not a bad run for Nolan. Marcus Ericsson finishing 12th ahead of Callum Eilert, who started 24th, finished 13th, did 4 pit stops today, but still, great amount of progress for Callum. Louis Foster 14th, Alexander Rossi 15th, and Santino Ferrucci 16th ahead of David Maluka, Stingray Robb, Connor Daly in 19th. Ferrucci and Connor, what an interesting situation that was. Ferrucci ran wide there in turn, I think it was turn 5 and 6, and forced Connor off the road there. Connor was not too pleased about that. Ferrucci had to give up 3 spots and go behind Daly, but Ferrucci got by him a little bit later on. It is windy out here. Devil DiFrancesco 20th, Robert Schwartzman 21st, Jacob Abel 22nd. Not a bad run for him, finished on the lead lap. Good job for him. Scott McLaughlin 23rd, Graham Rahal 24th, Christian Rasmussen 25th. Rasmussen ran out of fuel actually during the race and caused the race's second full course yellow on lap 31. Several drivers pitted underneath that yellow, including Pato Award, who, as I mentioned earlier, my story about him is about him after the race. Will Power 26th. He had a mechanical failure, to put it bluntly. There was fire coming out the back of his car when he came to pit road. Not good for him. Really good for Team Penske overall, because Joseph Newgarden finished 27th, and it was not a good weekend for Joseph. So he got eliminated in the first round of qualifying yesterday, and did speak to Kevin Lee after his run was over. He started 18th, and he locked the rear brakes up going to the first corner, which is on the initial start to the race, is turn 4. And he just locked the rears up and just spun right in front of Graham Rahal. He came back to the pits. He did one lap. I think it was under the yellow for Rasmussen. He did one lap, and then they just parked it, and he never went around again after coming back to the pits. Not a good weekend for Joseph Newgarden, which, to kind of show what's been, how bad like the season has gone for him, I got the points right here. So to kind of put things into perspective, Nolan Siegel is in 17th place in points with 147, and 18th place in points is Conor Daly with 144 points. Joseph Newgarden is 19th in points with 142. It just has not been a good season for him. 1 point behind Joseph is Marcus Ericsson with 141 points. And then behind Marcus by 1 point is Graham Rahal with 139. There's just no nice way to say it. It just has not been a good year for Joseph. But the good news for Joseph is that we're coming up to a racetrack where he's got a lot of wins at Iowa Speedway with a doubleheader on Saturday and Sunday. Kind of go over one of the junior levels real quick. In Indy next, Dennis Hauger got another win this year. A very scary accident between, I think it was Murray and Escoto. Just a bad one, but both drivers were able to get out of their cars fine. Had a big red flag. Other than that, it was a pretty good weekend. No rain. It was overall a great crowd. Supposedly on the PA, they said that it was a record crowd here in Mid-Ohio. So, yeah, fantastic crowd here, just an hour or so north of Columbus, Ohio. Just great overall. So, best news is everybody involved in the IndyCar race, everybody was safe. Everybody got home, or got out of the race safely. So great job. And yeah, we're gonna head over to Iowa Speedway in about 5 days time for the doubleheader weekend at Iowa. This is Christopher DeHarde over here at Mid-Ohio Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, signing off. Have a good one, everybody.
Steven Stump of Frontstretch.com here. Come back for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.